Hi there, Pennsylvania Prepper here. This is vlog number 1. I'm just shooting on my iPhone. Not sure what to expect. Today's little project is a fire pit, I guess you could say. Got it for a party my daughter's having. It really has no prepping value. It's more decorative, I'd say, than anything else. But she needed something, and we didn't really have the stones around the house for me to build a proper pit, so I'm gonna give this a try. So here we go. I've already assembled the handle on top of the mesh top here, and I'm about to attach the legs to the base of this unit here. So excuse me, I'll use this power drill for a second here. I did start cranking it by hand, and then I quickly realized that this would be a lot quicker. Or maybe not. A lot of times it's good not to tighten one side completely. Take it the other side in. Kind of screwdriving 101, but I might save some of you guys headaches. Alright, there's one leg. Hopefully I'll be able to fast forward through this once I learn a little bit of editing skills, so just bear with me. Well, in a second, I just want to explain what this channel is going to be about. I live in a semi-rural area, small town type of place, and we live on the edge of that small town in the mountains of central Pennsylvania. My property, I got about 3/4 of an acre here, but my backyard borderlines a rail line, and behind that is the Susquehanna River. So, long story short, I'll never have any neighbors build behind me, which is nice. And from a prepping standpoint, it really gives me strategic advantages. I'm not a big believer in bugging out at all. I don't even have a bug out bag made up. I believe in hunkering down. I do guess there's situations where I would have to leave my home, but considering where we live, we're not near any major metropolitan areas. We're about a little over 3 hours from New York City, 3 hours from Philadelphia, 3 to 4 hours from Pittsburgh. So we're not near those big urban centers or whatever. That being said, there are major interstates that run near the city of Williamsport, which I live nearby. But we live on the outskirts of town. To my west is basically farm fields. To my north, like I said, is the Susquehanna River, and to the south is basically, I can see a mountain from my front yard here. My front yard is a mountain in a way, about 100 yards away. And I'm just basically surrounded by mountains, so it's a pretty safe area, man. If I needed to, I got my in-laws that live about 2 miles to the west. My parents live a mile and a half or so to the east. If the roads were ever broken down, we could walk the rail lines. No one's ever going to sneak up behind us. Eventually you get to see my property and see how things are laid out behind the house. If you look at my house from the front, it looks a little crowded with my neighbors, but once you see my backyard, you'll see what I mean. Hopefully I'll be able to capture it with my phone. I'm currently in the process of turning my backyard into kind of like a permaculture food forest. Not my original idea. I think I got it from Justin Rhodes, maybe. I was the first person I heard coin that term, rather. I don't even think it was his term, nor did he take credit for it. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I highly recommend his channel if you guys haven't checked him out yet. He's more into the farming aspect of things, but he's a really cool dude. He's got a great family. So anyway, let me just finish up these support legs here. I can tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm in my early 40s, 42 actually to be exact. I'm an entrepreneur. I've run a small pizza sub shop since 2005, so over 13 years. I'm married. I have a daughter who is just turned 13 as well, not too long ago. So yeah, we had a baby, bought a business, all within a few months, I guess, of each other. It's a pretty hectic time, but a good time. I now own a couple investment properties. I'm looking to expand in my restaurant, but I'm blessed to have a lot of free time. Other things I might focus in on this station is birding. I'm a big birder. I love to photograph birds. My passion started with the bald eagle. We have a couple nesting pairs here in the Susquehanna Valley. Excuse me. Crap. And I apologize if I swear on video. I don't swear a lot, but it's possible. But anyway, my birding career, I guess you could say, started with the bald eagle after it was kind of introduced and started making a comeback in this area. And I mainly kind of was into raptors, red-tailed hawks, stuff like that. But this year, I kind of started learning about some of the smaller birds like warblers, stuff like that. And long story short, I just have become absolutely obsessed with birding in general. I just love being out there. I have a nice little camera set up. I just bought my second camera. Sorry about the noise. I bought a Sony Alpha A68. I had an A58. They're basically entry-level cameras. You call them low-end professional or high-end amateur DSLRs, which, excuse me, I'll probably eventually start vlogging with my Sony DSLR. Like I said, this is just a practice run. It may not even make it to YouTube, but I just figured it'd be good practice. This small little easy peasy project, and it'll give me a chance to practice my skill set here, whether or not I'm going to be good at making these little videos. So anyway, so that's the base of this that main box is going to sit on. Look at the directions here, and yes, I do read directions for things like this. I will tell you, I'm not very mechanically inclined. I kind of enjoy stuff like this, but not necessarily this, but I enjoy building stuff and creating stuff, and I'm really into my yard, and like I said, I'm in the process of turning my yard into a permaculture food forest. Right now I have 2 or 3 red raspberry bushes yet to plant, and about a half a dozen blueberry bushes to plant. I started about 2 years ago. This year I also put in 3 fruit trees, 2 apple and 1 pear, I believe it was. I think it was 2 apple, because the apple need to be in pairs so they can be pollinated. So yeah, I've actually had these blueberry bushes for quite some time, and I just haven't figured out where exactly I want to put them. Our home is like an 80s duplex home. The previous owners did a great job opening it up as a beautiful kitchen, open floor plan. I'm not sure how much of the inside of my home you'll see. Probably eventually as I get more comfortable with this, you know, I'll give you a tour or whatever, but I forget what my point with that was. Oh, so the front of our house faces south, so we do get the sun all day long in the front of the house, which is mainly kind of landscaped at this point, which is what my wife kind of prefers. It's pretty simple. Me, on the other hand, I prefer to grow jungles and have stuff everywhere, and you know, that's just my style, which I get from my mom and my late grandfather, who was a big influence on my life. God rest his soul. But yeah, so as well as getting everything ready for my daughter's party this evening, I'm planning on putting those final fruit bushes into the ground. But again, I'm just debating on where I can put them. What I'll do, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll take a break from this real quick. And sorry here. Sure. This is not a way to flip it over. You may hear birdie noises in the background because I am playing bird calls and bird songs on my iPad through a Bluetooth speaker. Anyway, so here, I'll just do a panoramic of my backyard. Alright, so we have this back deck here. That's my neighbors over there. It's very private, believe it or not. We can blast music back here and nobody can really hear it. So, sorry about the crappy camera work, guys. I'm new to this, but anyway, so the deck is about as long as the house is. It's a two-tiered deck. The second tier is about a third of the house. The bottom deck, which needs badly painted. We were supposed to do it last year, never got to it. So hopefully we're gonna get that done here before the cold weather kicks in. And then we have this like little area over here. It's my wife's area. She enjoys sitting on the couch watching her shows. I'm not a huge TV guy, although I do enjoy some. And so that's my neighbor's backyard over there. And as you can see, wait, I hate to turn this way, I'm going to, but I have a ton of tall trees in my backyard, a ton. Probably upwards of 15. We have an old above ground pool, which I'm not a fan of, but my wife loves. Obviously, it's at the end of the season, and we have a leak. I'm hoping a tree falls on it. Speaking of trees falling, here, we'll walk down there. I'll take 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap up this first video, like I said. So my property comes all the way down here. I'm almost embarrassed to show you guys this, but I might as well. This is my garden. It didn't turn out real well this year. We had more rain this summer than in any other summer that I can recall. And I've lived here pretty much all my life, barring a few years at college or whatever, but my peppers did okay. Tomatoes did okay, and that's about it. Something kept getting to my cabbage. Beans never took off. Any gourds I planted, any melons I planted, it just didn't work out. And the big problem is that maple tree right there, which will be in the spring my #1 priority as far as cutting that back in some regard, but that's obviously beyond my scope. It's a huge tree, and definitely something to be handled by the professionals. So yeah, I think once I take care of that, because I lose probably a good 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon. Really sorry about this camera work, guys. I lose about a good 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon of sunlight as a result. And you know, that on top of the super wet weather we had all summer, my garden was a wreck. So anyway, not this past May, but the May before that, I believe it was, had 2 trees fall down. As you can see, although it's probably tough to see, that is the backside of a uprooted tree that fell into my neighbor's yard over there. I took my chainsaw and cut most of it up, but I did not clean up most of the logs. He's been really cool about kind of letting the back part of his yard overgrow a little bit, but my brother and I are going to get to getting that wood out of there here soon.
A big issue was I never got poison ivy in the first 41 years of my life or whatever. And a couple of these trees were completely engulfed in poison ivy. And even though I tried to protect myself a little bit, I wasn't super careful because I thought I was immune to it. Well, guess what? I was not immune to it. So anyway, that delayed me on 2 different occasions. But now the temperatures are cooling, we're going to get that cleaned up. So I have some wood to start seasoning for my wood stove. So anyway, as you can see, I do have some woods in my backyard here that leads down to railroad tracks, and right beyond those railroad tracks is the Susquehanna River. I'm not going to walk down there right now. That might be a video for another day. My chocolate lab Asher, who you'll meet, loves to go back there when it's not flooded out, which, like I said, is rare this summer. So we'll get down there and I'll show you the views and stuff. So anyway, this is just a wood pile from trees that have fallen, wood from my old man, I believe it was, good wood. And we have all kinds of trees here: ash, maple, cherry. My neighbors have 2 chestnut trees, which I'm super jealous of over there. And so anyway, about hitting the 17-minute mark here. I know this is extremely choppy. If I do post this to YouTube, it will not be edited. I'm sorry for saying a lot, but I just wanted to kind of break the ice with you guys and introduce myself. Anyway, this is the Pennsylvania Prepper. Thanks for checking out my page. Thanks for checking out my video. Hopefully I'll get way better at this, just like when I walked in the dark just now. Hopefully I'll get way better at this and come up with some interesting topics. Please feel free to make any suggestions, technical suggestions. You know, I have a lot of work to do, but if you guys could recommend software, editing, that kind of thing, that would be great. And finally, like I said, we'll talk about all different kinds of topics. You know, I'm into prepping, but not in a hardcore sense. For me, it's really a mental state of mind. Being aware of what's going on in the world and your surroundings, you know, and doing the best you can with what you have. You know, some of my other hobbies are playing poker, so there's a chance I might talk about poker an episode or 2. I might even start a separate channel about that. Something else I'm passionate about, and I study a lot. So that's about it. So I guess for now, this is the Pennsylvania Prepper signing off. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button.